Hey, I want to do a video on how I made this whale's tail out of cardboard and cemented it with a high-strength fiber reinforced cement. I also did this one. This one's I did back in 2014. A link is in the description area if you want to watch how I made that one. But right now, let's get to how I made this one and get you understanding what it is I do. So I've got the piece, these two I already had, obviously, the fins, the two pieces in this. And I just created the interior frame for the body. And I'm about to take a chisel because some of these things, the tabs have to be bent one way or the other. So usually what I'll do is I'll put this on the table just like this. And if I want to, some of these go one way and some of them go up. So there's ones that right here that literally, I put the chisel down, I bend up. It's now going to bend in the direction that I want it to. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to bend all the ones that need to go up or this way or that way and bend them to where they've got their folds in it. Anytime I have a fold line, you got to fold it before you start putting it together. So I'll be doing that now. Okay, in this video, I'm screwing the base template to the X-brace template, which makes and forms the body. Okay, I just took these that are on both sides and I cut them and made them go into to make the body, and that's done. But you can see these just fold over and then you basically screw them. So that's all sitting there. And I'm going to finish that, and then the fin to the body. The body is actually going to be formed down to here, and then I just got to go from the up to the top. So that's got the one half of the body totally done, and it's a lot more stable now. It'll be just right for applying the fiber reinforced cement. I'm going to do a very thin shell, except for the bottom, but that's where 6 screws get mounted through the statue into the deck, concrete, or whatever you're going to do. So I'm going to make it a little thicker here. Everywhere else is going to be 3/8 of my really strong fiber reinforced cement. So stick with me. Do the other side because you don't need to see that's as exact as this side, and then I'll go ahead and start the mudding. Okay, so I got the cardboard all installed. I taped everywhere just to minimize the overlaps, the areas where mud could get in between the cardboard. And this is better than actually sealing it with an acrylic because it doesn't let water in. It's taped. So anyway, I'm going to start mudding it from the base and go on up. Okay, so I've got the first coat on. It's about a 1/4 inch because I'm only going to go about a 1/2 inch thick. I've embedded the mesh. My next coat tomorrow will be another 1/4 of an inch. Right now, I've got all the mesh well embedded. There isn't anywhere that you could see a pocket like this. I've got a little bit more mud left, just a tiny bit, and I'll put some over that. I'd like that to be covered like this area here. Okay, that's got the second mudding on the body, and I actually did come up a little on the fins here, just in the center here. Oops, sorry, going that way. Just put a little mesh on that, just to give this a little more stability as I'm mudding it when I lay it down. Anyway, stick with me. I'll be back. Okay, this morning I took a sander And I'm basically just sanding this. This is 14 hours after I just applied the second coat of mud. And you can see right in here where this is still pretty rough, even though I troweled it out as smooth as I could. The other thing I'm getting ready to do is to apply the mesh to this layer, which I haven't done. I did the other side with the mesh, but I need to second coat that and first coat this and second coat it. I can do it all in one time. The other thing I'm going to be doing is reinforcing the edges of the fin, both top and bottom. Okay, now this side right here has been done all the way around the fin, up on top and all the way around the bottom. You can see what I did was I put a little bit of mud in the mesh and then stuck it up there. It's going to start me on my radius that I want. A little bit of more mud after that sets up, and then I'll finish it. And then at that time, I'll give the whole thing a nice troweling over and make sure it's all smooth, and it'll be at the right. Now the fin's probably going to have a little more thickness because of the process I use, but nobody's sitting on it, but it's no big deal. Anyway, stick with me. Piece of cardboard with packing tape on it. Well, that's got both sides now, and I did a little repair on the front. It should be rubbed down some more just to get that profile a little better, but it's a little wet yet. So I'm gonna hold off until about an hour or so. Okay, I'm getting ready to take the finish off of this with a polishing grinder so that I can stain the new whale's tail with the whale's tail bench, and they'll sit next to each other in harmony. So watch me. Okay, so this whale's tail I took off the deck and put it on a table so I could polish it and grind it and get it hydro sealed. The one behind me you saw doing the shop, but right now I brought this one up from the shop. I wanted to bring both of them together to stain it, and I don't want it on the deck to do it, so I'm in the grass area. I've mixed up a 11-to-1 orange. You're thinking, why would I put orange in there? I'm looking for a little vibrant color on this one, so I'm just kind of experimenting. But right now I'm just looking for some big globs. I've got the spray gun over there, but the old school saw me doing the whisk brush to where you would flick, and then the dash brush to where you would flick. That's how I used to paint everything right here. Of course, I was doing a granite, and this is going to have somewhat of a speckly look, but I'm going to take a little of this, mix it up, and just sit here and just kind of splatter on it. Little here, little there. See that? Nothing major. Just trying to get a couple of the colors. Now I'm going to put subsequent colors over the top of this, so a lot of this isn't even going to be visible, but yet it will be. Now the spray gun does not get the big speckles like these do, so that's why I used it. I've mixed up a 5-to-1 Army Green, OD Green, and I'm going to use the gun to speckle. Okay, now I've got the blue, which is mixed 10 parts of water to 1 part of the paint, and I'm spraying it on with speckles. Get right up on it so you can see a little bit better. But you got your Army Green still showing through, your orange is still showing through, and I've made it to where the blue is not individual speckles as you would think, you know, like because I did speckle it, but I inundated the surface. Now over there, it can see some speckles, but I'm gonna put a gray on now that's gonna be mixed like 6-to-1. It should hit the surface, be something you can hear and see, but not be screaming at you, here I am. So it's gonna be a little more subdued. Okay, now we got a gray that's 6-to-1. little up close here with the gray. And this area is probably the best, where you really can't see any one thing. Like here, I see more speckles, where up here, it's got a finer. So I may hit some of these areas with a little finer mist. But once you seal them, you're kind of done staining. Just showing you a little closer up view. See if that doesn't convey on camera a little bit. Stick with me. So I was a bad YouTube content provider. I sealed this without you all seeing it, but it dawned on me, usually I do this in the shop and I literally paintbrush it on so much it drips, it runs. And I address the runs with a paintbrush. I literally stay around for a couple of hours. And I have in my shop, it's closed. I don't let no wind in there, but here it's got a lot of wind and there was a lot of Doug fir stuff. So what I did was I sprayed it, let it coat dry, got some of the Doug fir needles off, a bug, you know, and then I sprayed it again. I sprayed it probably 15 times. It's got a very good high gloss shine to it, and it's protected forever. Well, for 5 years anyway. You can see right there the sheen on it. You got to get just to a right angle where you can get the light. But these are now dry. Actually, I could handle them. I'm gonna let them sit till tomorrow, and then they're gonna get mounted up here on the deck, right where those buckets are. So I'm really looking forward to having this project done. 2 cardboard rock whale's tails, 1 a bench, 1 vertical. Stick with me, guys. Hey, I want to do a video on how I made this whale's tail out of cardboard and cemented it with a high strength fiber reinforced cement. I also did this one. This one's I did back in 2014. A link is in the description area if you want to watch how I made that one. But right now, let's get to how I made this one and get you understanding what it is I do.